Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Sasa. I make cosplay, cooking, sewing videos, and today I'm showing you how I made my Mutsu cosplay from Gintama. This is more of a quick walkthrough and guide for this costume. Originally, I wasn't going to film this, so that's why I didn't film all the steps. I made a separate video on how I made the armbands. The link will be in the description box. For the cape pattern, I modified Simplicity's 80-10. The original cape pattern is very full, the circle is quite large, and it was too large for my fabric and I didn't have enough fabric. So what I did, I modified it and made it less big by folding up little slits in the pattern. So you need to cut 2 of these and make sure that you don't change the neck hole because then the collar pattern will be changed. So the first is to sew the center back seam together. I used a French seam because I was not going to put any lining. And then the collar is a rectangle. I sandwiched the collar inside the cape fabric. So that means that the raw edges were on the outside. But it's okay because we're going to hide it with the bias tape. When you get to the corners, I sew off on an angle directly to the corner. This makes it easier when you flip it over to have a nice corner. So you need to fold back the fabric onto the diagonal and then fold it down straight. And then you can start sewing. So here you can see that the collar has raw edges, but that's okay because we're covering it now with the bias tape. Because the fabric can be thick and the bias tape will show holes, so it's better to use clips to hold it in place while you sew. I fold the corner and adjust it until I'm happy with it, then I clip it and we're ready to sew. If you want, you can iron this part before sewing. Make sure you iron both sides to give it a nice clean and crisp look. To finish, I hand sewed a snap just below the collar to hold the cape together. For the pants, I modified one of my personal pants pattern. I made the leg a little bit wider since I'm going to be putting elastic there. With the right sides together, you want to sew the outer leg seam first. I iron the seam flat, then open, and then from the right side. Next, you sew the inner leg seam, and you iron that as well. Then you pin the center crotch together, and you sew the whole crotch line. To make the casing for the elastic, I iron down once, and then I do it one more time, and I make sure that the width is big enough for my elastic. So a casing is pretty much a tunnel that allows the elastic to pass through. For my personal costumes and clothes, I use a ribbon on the back to know which is the back side. Make sure you leave an opening so that you can put your elastic through. With the help of a safety pin, I thread my elastic all the way around, and then I sew the elastic together. To get your elastic size, you hold the elastic around the body part that you want it and pull it so it's tight but still comfortable. The bottom of the pants are done the same way as the top. Now we start the top. So you need to make the ties, and these hold the kimono top closed on the inside. It's just a long tube of fabric that I flip right side out and iron. This fabric is quite thin, so I'm using some fusible interfacing on the collar, and I'm only applying this to the center of the collar, not the whole thing. So you iron the collar in half. So these are the sleeves. You fold them in half, pin, and then sew the bottom seam. I have a full detailed video on how to sew and pattern these kimono style tops. The link will be in the description box. So first you sew the center back seam, and then you open it up and you fold down the front pieces to get the side seams. So I pin the ties down, and this helps to keep the kimono closed on the inside. Pay attention to which side you put them on because you need the left side to overlap the right side. I sew the side seams and I attach the sleeves. Sorry, I didn't film it for the blue one, but it's the same thing. You try it on to find out where the collar placement is because I want my collar to end at the place where I put the belt. So you try this on and you put the belt on to make sure it's at the good spot on your body. Then I pin the collar to the body and I sew it down. For the belt, I used a very wide elastic and I sewed velcro at the end so that it's easy to put on. If my videos and tutorials helped you create something, please tag me. I would love to see your work. Please check out my channel for playlists on cooking, sewing, cosplay, and other tutorials. You can support me by buying me an online coffee, which is a donation of increments by $3, or you can buy anything from my Etsy shop. It's all handmade by me. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. I hope you have fun with your projects. Bye bye!